On December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers lifted from Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale and turned east over the Atlantic. Their mission was routine, a navigation exercise called Navigation Problem Number 1. Within hours, all 5 aircraft and the 14 men aboard them would disappear. No confirmed wreckage would be recovered. No bodies would be found. Then, one of the aircraft sent to rescue them would vanish as well. The mystery would eventually help create the legend of the Bermuda Triangle, but beneath the supernatural stories lies a far more disturbing possibility. Flight 19 may have been destroyed by a single navigational mistake that became impossible to reverse. The Second World War had ended only months earlier. The aircraft were TBM Avengers, rugged 3-seat machines built to carry torpedoes into combat. Leading the formation was Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor, an experienced naval aviator. The other pilots were undergoing training, although several men in the formation were already qualified aviators. At approximately 2:10 that afternoon, the 5 Avengers took off in weather officially described as favorable. Their triangular route would carry them east toward a practice bombing site called Hens and Chickens Shoals, north across Grand Bahama, and finally southwest toward Florida. The bombing exercise appears to have been completed normally. Then something went wrong. A flight instructor named Robert Cox, flying in the area, overheard confused radio traffic. Taylor reported that he could not determine his position. He also said both of his compasses were malfunctioning. Below the formation, Taylor could see islands. He apparently concluded that the aircraft were over the Florida Keys, south of the mainland. But investigators later believed he was actually looking at islands in the northern Bahamas. That distinction was fatal. If Flight 19 was south of Florida, flying northeast should have brought the aircraft toward the peninsula. But from the northern Bahamas, the same heading carried them deeper into the Atlantic. Ground controllers attempted to help. They asked the flight to switch to a clearer emergency frequency so its position could be triangulated. The formation never completed the change, possibly because Taylor feared losing radio contact with the other aircraft. There is no known surviving audio recording of the flight. The familiar dialogue associated with the incident comes from communication logs, testimony, and later reconstructions, not a preserved dramatic recording. Documentary reports indicate disagreement inside the formation. At least one pilot believed that turning west would take them home. But Flight 19 continued changing headings. As the afternoon faded, conditions deteriorated. Winds strengthened, the sea became rough, and scattered rain reduced visibility. Radio signals weakened, suggesting that the Avengers were moving farther from Florida, flying lower, or both. Every course correction consumed more fuel. Taylor eventually ordered the aircraft to close formation. When one plane reached critically low fuel, he indicated, they would ditch together. For the crews, the mathematics had become merciless. The Avengers had been airborne for hours. Darkness was approaching. The ocean below was becoming increasingly violent. Then the voices disappeared. The Navy launched a major rescue operation. 2 Martin PBM Mariner flying boats were sent toward Flight 19's estimated position. One Mariner, carrying 13 men, disappeared shortly after takeoff. A merchant ship in the area reported seeing an explosion in the sky and later passing through an oil slick. PBM Mariners were known to be vulnerable to fuel vapor fires, leading investigators to consider an accidental explosion the most likely cause. The rescue aircraft's disappearance was probably unrelated to whatever happened to the Avengers. But to the public, 6 aircraft had now vanished on the same night. The legend had begun. For 5 days, Navy, Coast Guard and aviation personnel searched more than 250,000 square miles of Atlantic and Gulf waters. They found no confirmed aircraft debris, no bodies, no life rafts, and no oil slick belonging to Flight 19. The Navy investigation concluded that Taylor had probably become disoriented, mistaken the Bahamas for the Florida Keys, and led the formation over open water until its fuel was exhausted. Taylor's mother challenged the finding. After a review, the official conclusion was changed, so the cause was recorded as unknown. That did not prove that something extraordinary had happened. It meant that without wreckage, the Navy could not establish the cause with legal certainty. In later decades, writers connected Flight 19 to strange magnetic forces, time distortions, and alien abduction. The surviving evidence supports none of those explanations. It instead suggests a chain of ordinary failures with extraordinary consequences. Positional confusion, disputed headings, imperfect radio communication, worsening weather, darkness, and dwindling fuel. But genuine questions remain. Were Taylor's compasses truly defective? Did all 5 aircraft remain together? Where did they finally enter the sea? The Atlantic east of Florida is deep, broad, and swept by powerful currents. Aircraft ditching in rough water could break apart and sink quickly. Search crews may simply have looked in the wrong place. 27 men were lost that day, 14 aboard Flight 19 and 13 in the Mariner. Their story became famous as a supernatural mystery. The more haunting truth may be simpler. 5 aircraft became uncertain of where they were, and every decision carried them farther from home.